murder. Yeah, yeah. Coming up next on Mental Health Matters with Marty, June is Men's Health Awareness Month. Stay tuned for some exciting details. I know. What's up, everybody? Hey, welcome to another edition of Mental Health Matters with Marty. And I am still your boy, your nephew, your neighbor, and everybody else, Martinez Sellers, your mental health hygienist. And why do I say that? Because we need to take care of our mind every single solitary day. And I'm coming to you live, no doubt, from Southern California, where the sun is always shining. Yes, I got my hat on today. Y'all will understand a little bit later as my guest comes in. I couldn't let him outdo me on my own show, y'all. Hey, what's going on? Listen, we want you to dial in. And if you're going to be making a comment tonight, know this. You need to go to the Mental Health Matters with Marty page or the Marcel Media page if you would like your comments to be shown on our show tonight. Again, go to Mental Health Matters with Marty or our Marcel Media page if you want your comments to be shown tonight, because we're trying to do this and narrow and streamline this down. But also, know that the Mental Health Matters with Marty show, this show is a supplement and not a substitute for any of your mental health conditions or mental health matters. If you are experiencing any type of psychological emergency, please go to your nearest urgent care or dial 911. With that being said, we don't want you to not see your therapist. Listen, call your therapist, call everybody, call your life coach. Listen, I am so excited. Y'all don't know how excited I am about just coming to you this month. We don't talk enough about men's issues and men's mental health issues in our Black and brown communities. Too often, I say it all the time, too many men are secretly suffering in silence in the shadow of shame because we're too fearful of what other people might think or say about us. So we play too much into the norm of the stereotypes that have been plaguing us for years. And I'm here to tell you, it's time for us to stop playing to those stereotypes, but we need to live, speak up, speak out. As I always say, y'all, live so that you can enjoy your life. I am so excited to have this first guest on with us tonight. My guest tonight, listen, he's new to the Mental Health Matters with Marty show, but he's not new to mental health. He's not new to this game. He's not new to being an advocate for mental health. He's not new to being a life coach. And I'm so happy and so excited to have this brother on the show for the very first time. But I'm here to tell you, it is not going to be the last time. This brother is on fire. This brother got swag. You know, I got to keep up with him. But listen, welcome with me, if you will, to the Mental Health Matters with Marty show, life coach himself, Sharif Colbert. Yeah, what's up, brother?
What's going on, Marty? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing all right. Y'all, he a little Creole, so got the Colbert and not Colbert. And so, how you feeling, man? How's the ATL treating you?
Atlanta is beautiful, man. I love it here. I wouldn't live any place else as of right now. I love it
I
here, man. I love it.
I
It's
know, I
raining
know.
right now, but I love it.
What? Okay, okay. Portia Scott, listen, hello, darling. Hey, thank you for having lunch with me today. That's my homegirl from the ATL. She's out here, and out here with her husband, who is an amazing, amazing executive coach. So we got to have lunch and everything today. So, man, it is so good. So, tell you, this is your first time on the show. Talk to
This
our
is.
viewers. Who are you? What do you do? And why are you so passionate about what you do? So, who are you, my brother?
My name is Sharif Colbert, and I am a life coach. As we mentioned in the beginning, I'm a transition
Yes,
coach, and I also am an accountability coach as well. And my life coach does a number of things, but mainly helps bring clarity to your life, helps you set goals for yourself, and holds you accountable for accomplishing those goals. You know, if there's things in your
yes,
life that you're saying that you want to accomplish and that you want to do, and you're not doing them, you got to figure out why
yes,
you're not doing those things. And so, what a
yes,
life coach does is he helps you bring that clarity to your life and helps you find out why you're not doing those things. And if those things are really important to you, because if you say that they
yes.
are, why aren't you doing them? And
Ooh,
a life coach also, I mean, you know, and one of the other things that we had talked about is like, what is the difference between a life coach and a mental health therapist? And a mental
right,
health
right,
person, a therapist, they are taking you from your past, you know, that some
right,
things that you've
right,
dealt with, some things that you're going through
right.
in your past, and they're helping you get through that. And a life coach takes you from where you are and helps you get better, helps
Mm,
you develop as the in the things that you want to do in life. So that's the difference
good.
between the two.
Man, you the bomb, man. I love it. I love it. Y'all see why I had to put my hat on because see, Mr. Colbert was trying to outdo and be a Southern gentleman, and I had to let him know we on the West Coast. We know what it's all about. But
He
listen,
definitely
I
did. He
love
did
that.
not have that hat on. He did not have
I
that
did.
hat on in the beginning.
Look, man, I want to tell you, it's probably gonna come off because I sweat so bad. You'll see me pulling off like a church deacon. But I love that, and thank you for clarifying that because so many people ask what the difference is between a mental health therapist and a life coach. And I love that because even in life coaching, you definitely are dealing with mental health issues. And a
Yeah.
lot of times, and I love that you say we're talking about from the present to where you
Hmm.
want to go. So you're pushing people
Yes.
from where they're at to where they want to go. You said something that was very important. You said a transitional life coach. See, you try to make
Yeah.
people upset with you, and then you want to hold them accountable. Now, we don't like to be held accountable, brother. What you trying to do? Mess me up? I might have to cancel my
well,
check.
well, you see, and that's why people are stuck
Right? That's
because they
good.
don't want to
You're
be held
right.
accountable.
You're right.
Because
You're
if
right.
you're getting held accountable, then you're gonna follow through with the things that you said that you wanted to do. So, what is it that you actually truly want
Mm,
to do in life?
mm,
There it is.
mm. Uh oh. And it's too early for you to come on the show and drop the mic, man. What's up with just coming on, busting stuff up? But that's so important. That is so important. Listen, y'all. If you are not on here, listen. Call if you're not on here. If you're not on here, you wouldn't be listening to me. But if you are on here and you know some folks that need to be in here in this room, listen. Put their name in the comment section. Get them in here. Get them in here. Listen, we got none other than Sharif. This brother knows what he is talking about. A transitional. I love that transitional accountability life coach. Woo, you're messing me
Yes.
up.
I mean, think
Talk to
about
me
all the
about,
transitions that we're.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Think
No,
about
no,
all the
go ahead. Keep
transitions
going.
that we're going through right now. I mean, us coming out of
Right.
COVID right now, us being in this
Yes.
pandemic that we've been in, and people are trying to find their way. People don't know where to get started
Right.
at. Think about that. That's a
Right.
lot, man. That's a lot to deal with on your own. And if you don't know how to deal with that on your own, that's why you hire somebody like me.
That's right. Okay. Okay. So, you know, okay, Sharif, I'm not gonna lie. I got folks come to me, no, we didn't paid our fees to get where we're at,
Yeah,
but people like, give me the hookup. Can you give a brother a free session and all that?
man. Let me
Because
look.
I was
Let
like,
me tell you this. Let me
talk
tell
to
you
me,
this.
talk to me, talk to me.
Then nobody give me the hookup and going to school and paying what I
Ooh,
had to pay to get it
ooh.
to be a life coach. So no,
Say
there's
that
no
again.
hookup.
Right,
There's
right,
nobody give me no hookup on that. So all the hours I had to
right.
spend in school, I'll be doing myself a disservice. I'll be honest with you. I'll be doing myself a disservice if I did
That's
not
good.
charge for what I actually do. And what I do is I
Ooh,
actually help bring clarity to people's lives. And I'd be doing myself a disservice if I did not charge for that. So
I love
I'm
that.
not
I
gonna do
love
that.
that. Right,
I
right.
can't
I
cheat
love that.
myself.
Come on. So if you did that, then you wouldn't even be holding yourself accountable. I love it because
There
you're
it is.
practicing what you're preaching. In other words, you are modeling the type of behavior that you want your clients to have with that as well. And that's so important because we as life coaches, we as mental health therapists, we in this human services field, I'll say it that way,
Hmm.
we have to also model what we're trying to emulate and trying to get over to our own clients. Because if we're not modeling it, then why would I follow you? If I don't see a
Absolutely.
healthy life in you, then why would I trust that you can bring me to a healthy life as well?
Absolutely. I mean, and if I'm not following the things that I practice and that teach my clients in my
Mm-hmm.
practice and what I do, if it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
work for me, then how's it going to work for
Mm-hmm.
you? Like, how
Mm-hmm.
am I going to tell you to do it if I'm not even doing it
Mm-hmm.
and it's not working for me? So
That's
I
good.
wouldn't do that.
That's good. Yes, yes, yes. So we talked about this transition because there's so many people
Hmm.
that are in this transition. I've said this way, Sharif, that the pandemic has brought about complication in all areas of our lives.
Yeah.
If you had anxiety prior to the pandemic, now you have complicated anxiety during and after the pandemic. If you had depression during the pandemic, now you have complicated depression, after, during, and all that. And I think that the pandemic has made our lives in so many areas mentally very
Oh my God.
complicated. Yeah, yeah. So what are you? How are you advising your clients, and what are you seeing as a result of this pandemic? And specifically, since this is Men's Health Awareness Month, specifically among men, among Black men, among our Latino brothers, among men of color.
Man, the main thing is people are out of shape. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, okay,
It's
that's good.
that COVID-19, that COVID-20, and people are really trying to get back
Right,
in shape right
right,
now. But as
right,
far as the mental health part of it, though, Marty, I'll be completely transparent with you. As far as the mental health part of it, I have so much respect for mental health and for therapy that if it's out of my realm, if it's out of my league, if they're experiencing anxiety, if they're experiencing those things that they can't get
right,
through,
right,
I'm sending them to you. You know what I mean? I'm sending them
right.
to a
I hear
therapist.
you.
I'm sending them to someone that can help them get through that. Because me as a life
Right.
coach, I feel like I'd be doing you a disservice if I'm trying to, well, you need to
Mm,
practice this or practice that. I'm doing you a disservice. So
right,
I wouldn't really necessarily like go down that road with the client. I would
right,
always act with integrity and let them know, hey,
right,
look, this is out of my league. And if this is out of my
right.
league, then I would definitely prefer that you go and speak to a therapist about this because
Hmm.
this is a little bit more than what I can take on right now. But
Man,
when it
I
comes to
love
other
your
things, I'm sorry.
hmm no, so I
When it
love your
comes to other
integrity with
things,
that. Hmm.
oh yeah, man, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you always have to
Hmm.
act with integrity.
That's right.
But when it comes to the other things, like I said, like, hey, look, I want to start a business. I've been in COVID for this long, and I've been having these ideas, and I don't know how to do it. Or, hey,
Right,
I
right,
really want to get back in shape, and I don't know where to start. That's where you
right,
come to me,
right.
and I'm like, hey, look, let's find your reason why. Like you'll hear me talk about that
Mm.
a lot. What is your reason
Okay.
why? Why do you want to get back
What's
in
the
shape?
why?
And if you want to
Yeah.
do it, yeah, what's the why? What's the why behind it? Because you can
Hmm.
always go
Hmm.
back and you can always revert back to your why. If you fall off the wagon,
Right.
you can always revert back to that. This is the reason. This is the reason why I started to do this. This is why I wanted to get into this. So you can always revert
Yes.
back to that, and that's my job as your life coach is to help you always remember that why.
Love that. Love that. I have to speak to our number one fan out here, Miss Paula Williams. So glad that you came and converted over to the Mental Health Matters with Marty Page. Love you, darling. Hope everything in Connecticut is going well. Listen, you need a Paula in your life. Yes, she's amazing. So, Paula, I'm gonna give you the information on how to follow my brother over here, Mr. Sharif. He is bomb.com. Let me tell you something. He's bomb. So Sharif, I love that because knowing the difference and the balance with what you can and should be doing. And the same thing for me, because I know, and if we as life coaches and mental health therapists would work more in concert with each other, I think we'd be able to
Hmm.
help a whole lot more people through their transitions in life. With that, thank you, Paula, and helping it through transitions in life, which is so important. See, I always have to acknowledge her because she's all right with me. um,
How you doing, Paula?
that's it. Yes, yes. When we talk about, and let's kind of segue here, if you will. When we're talking about men's health awareness, mental health, physical health. Why is that such a passion for you? Since we're talking about the why, let's go to your why. Why this?
Oh
Why life
man.
coach?
Whew. Well, why life coaches? I mean, man, you and I had talked offline before, Marty, and about
Yes.
God giving you these nudges and not
Right.
listening. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
God was giving me these nudges, man. It was like I was in corporate America for a while, for a long time
Hmm.
actually. I was in corporate America, and it just wasn't for
Right.
me. It was sure the check was nice. It was nice,
Right.
having the benefits and all of that kind of stuff, and you get sucked up in that. So
Yes.
you get sucked up in that and you just keep going and going and going and going and going. But then again,
Right.
like I
Right.
said, God's giving you these nudges of like, hey, look, this ain't where you're supposed to be. This isn't what you're
Mm.
supposed to be doing right now. I want you to, and
Hmm.
I've always been good. And I know we're going to get into some other stuff, but I've always been good with people in general. And like
Okay.
always
Okay.
being able to make a connection with people, and people will come to me with their things and ask me questions and want answers. And, I'd always
Right.
be able to
Right.
ask intelligent questions and things of that nature.
Right.
And so
Right.
when God finally gave me that final push, boom, I had to listen. I was like,
Mm.
damn, okay,
Right. Right.
you got my attention now. And after you
Right.
got my attention, man, what I did was I went to school.
Okay.
I took classes for becoming a life coach because I knew that there was something better
Yes.
out there for me, something that I wanted to do. And I
Right.
knew that I wanted to help people. And I knew I was
Right.
passionate about helping people. And I've been passionate
Right.
about helping people since I was a little boy. So
Right.
that's how I got into it.
Uh,
That's why. I hope that answered the question.
Most definitely. I love the why.
Okay.
What you're helping people with, and I think the why is so important that we have ignored the why for far too long. When you know that you're called to, I know your and my journeys have been so similar in that
Hmm.
I always have loved talking to people, always have been in front of people, always have, and I can tell already you've always been the appointed leader. You've always been, yes, yes, Sharif's gonna be the spokesperson. So Sharif's gonna be up there and have some swag and all this, and all that. So I already know what's going on. Listen, see how when you're trying to do stuff. I have a more professional show, but you know how it goes. My
You cut out on me. I don't know if you can still hear me or not, but you pause right now. There you
okay,
go.
that's your see when you're trying to be more professional. Sometimes your camera wants to act up. I don't know. But we don't let that stop us. We don't let that stop us. So with that, Sharif, I love that you said that you chased your why. Why was this so important? When you're talking to your clients and your patients, especially men, uh, um, where do you feel men do you think we as black men understand our why enough?
Nah, I don't. I think that we get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life,
Mm-hmm.
and and we just keep going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't stop to think about like what our
Mm-hmm.
why is, why we're getting in this, why we're doing this. I think that we're doing a lot better because I believe that platforms like yourself, I mean, you are absolutely touching on these topics. So I believe that we're getting better. But no, to answer your
Mm-hmm.
question, I don't believe that black men, especially, are tapping into their why they actually are getting into things or doing
Mm-hmm.
certain things. I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe so. Do you?
So no, I'm in total agreement with you. I don't believe we do that
Okay.
either. And what I want to go into is what are some of the barriers that's keeping us as black men? I'm going to hone it in on black. What are some of the barriers that keep us from doing or chasing after the why, or even doing those things to make life? I'm not saying better for us, but not discourage us and stop ignoring our health. Stop ignoring our mental health. Stop ignoring our physical health. Stop ignoring our financial health and wellness. So what are you experiencing in that life coach area as you're talking to these men and holding them accountable so that they have a smooth and a good transition?
I think pride. I think pride has
Mm.
so much to do with it, man, and not wanting
Mm-hmm.
to ask for help. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe that comes from our childhoods, from the way that we grew up, from the way that
Okay.
how we were when we
Okay.
grew up. And I believe that
Right.
has so much to do with it because you just have this pride in this. You're supposed to be a man, and you're supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do
Right.
that. You're not supposed
Right.
to ask for
Right.
help. You're not supposed to go
Right.
to a therapist. You're not supposed to talk to a life
Right.
coach. And that pride gets you every single time. And so we got to break that down. Like, why do you have this pride? Where did that come
Good.
from? Who gave that to you? Where did this come? Like, what is that? Why are you
Mm-hmm.
holding on to that?
Mm-hmm.
I believe
Mm-hmm.
that it's pride.
hmm No, I would totally agree with you with that, and I love that. But what? So we have yes. Oh, Shayla Colbert. Do you know Shayla? See,
I do not know.
okay.
You gonna give me
You know,
one
I
about
didn't.
that all night?
You know, I said all the Creole folk coming out tonight, but no. But you're
I'm
right.
not messing with you.
Hey, you know, see, you're right. See, I done got hot. I can't take this hat anymore.
That's what you get. That's what you did. That's what you did.
Right,
God
right,
don't like
right.
that.
We can roll, brother. We can roll anytime. We as black men hold so much pride. And I say that same pride that a lot of our Hispanic and Latino brothers hold in that machismo that is
Mhm.
killing us. Is killing us on the inside. I had my gentleman I'm bringing on as a guest next week without pride. Negative is our yes. Landon, thank
Yeah.
you. Layden, thank you. You're absolutely right. It's our downfall with that is holding us and keeping us from thriving. And
Yeah.
what we where we fail to realize is that it now takes what was once internal then starts to manifest itself on an external way. And I'm saying with our health, when we have my guest I'm bringing on next week talks about his stroke that he had, because the
Mm.
only emotion he knew how to express was anger.
Mm.
Anger. And how he
Yeah.
realized how that anger ate him up, and it literally he said he had and we're going to go into this a little next week and everything, but two brain tumors or brain eruptions from the stroke, one in the front of his frontal cortex and then one in the back of his brain as well. And it was just devastating. And all of that was a lot of, they said it was a result of stress, a result of tension, result of just not letting things go. And we as men, and do you know that they say that 70% of black men who have strokes, we have black men have strokes 70% more than their white counterparts, one. And then another thing it
Mhm.
says that 80% of strokes are preventable. Now I'm jumping into the topics of next subject for next week, but I want to use that. It says, what environments do black needs to facilitate this growth and evolvement? That's good. That's good. So what environment? So when you're doing that and you're singing these black men and these clients who are not evolving, who are not growing, and since you are um, you got some kids you ain't told us about.
Yeah, kids. My kids are my why, baby. That's my why right
That's
there.
right. That's right.
That's
That's
my
right.
why. Her.
Yes. Okay. Okay. See, that's my dad. That's see. I'm like, no, I don't have no kids. That's
Oh
oh,
my
that's what we're
goodness.
gonna talk about black fatherhood next.
Let's talk about that. I can't
Yes.
wait.
I. But even with that, before we talk to transition that, what? How do you reach those men who are? You notice some anger, you notice some pride, you notice all of that. What are some tools that they can use to get past it, or how do you coach them?
You got to find exactly what it is that you enjoy to do. First of all, you got to like,
Mm-hmm.
I can give you what I mean, because each individual is different. For me, I meditate, like, and I meditate on a regular
Mm,
basis. And I know that if I do not get my meditation in, then I'm a whole
that's
different
good.
person. I also know that I work out, and that helps
Okay.
me tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Tremendously, that helps me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that those two things right there, if I do not do those things on a regular basis, then I'm a different
Right.
person. And
Right.
I have that. Unfortunately, I do have that anger that I inherited from my father. You know that he has
Okay.
that anger or he had that anger issue, and
Right.
I knew that I
Right.
had to do something about it. And
Right.
that goes into me like going into therapy, man. I mean, that's a
Okay.
huge that was a huge deal for me. Like I
Yeah.
realized that after that little girl that just popped on just now, she's 20 years old now. After she was born, I knew that I had to change my life, and I knew I had to do some
Right.
things different. And how I
Right.
was going to do that,
Right.
I could no longer do it on my own anymore. Like I
Right.
couldn't do it on my own. So I knew that I needed to get help, and so that was my reasoning for
Wow.
reaching out and getting a therapist. So
Wow.
that was my reasoning, man. That little
I
girl that just
love
popped
it.
up just now,
That little girl,
that
Miss
was it.
Shayla. I
Taylor.
love
Taylor.
Taylor. Okay,
Taylor.
Taylor. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Taylor. Okay, so hey, Taylor, I see you say that's my dad. Yeah, I hear you. So, once you realize that you were going to be becoming a father,
Hmm.
and you're about to be a father, you said she was the why you knew you
Oh
needed to
yeah.
change.
Yeah.
Talk to us about who Sharif was before Taylor, and how Taylor then changed your life, where you knew that you had to, as a black man, as a black father, not fall into those stereotypes. Because again, that's where our lives are so similar, my brother, because I knew it had to be different for me as well. I really did.
Yeah.
Talk to me
All
about
right, now
that.
look now. You ain't gonna get me crying up in here, all right?
Listen, we just roll with it here. We just roll with it.
Nah, man. I'm gonna be totally transparent, 100% with you.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
a very dysfunctional life growing up.
Mm-hmm.
My mother, she was an alcoholic.
Okay.
She put us in some very unfortunate circumstances. My
Mm-hmm.
father was murdered by the time I was 2 years old, and so it was just my
Wow.
mom raising us.
Right,
And she was
right.
raising two boys on her own. But in
Wow.
all honesty, it was really me. Um, cry, brother. And really, in all honesty, it was me raising my mom, and it
Okay.
was me raising my mom
Okay.
at like 6, 7, 8 years old, and taking
Wow.
care of her
Right.
because she couldn't take care of us. She couldn't do it. And
Right.
so I saw
Right.
lots of abuse. I saw physical abuse. I saw sexual abuse. I saw mental
Right.
abuse. I saw
Right.
all of that as a kid.
Right.
And I grew up thinking that shit was normal. And
Right.
there's nothing normal about that.
Right.
But I didn't realize it wasn't normal
Yes.
until I actually could see what normal was.
Right.
And if I had stayed in that situation, I mean, I stayed in that situation from the time I was born until I was 12 years old. And then I got
Mm-hmm.
adopted by an amazing family. But
Wow.
I didn't know that that wasn't normal. And that
Right.
stuck with me throughout my entire
Right.
life. It was like,
Right.
okay, well, this is normal. This is normal to be out here fighting. Like I said, I inherited that
Right.
anger from my father. So this is normal for me to be out here fighting. This is normal for me to,
Mm-hmm.
see people
Mm-hmm.
drinking and drugging
Mm-hmm.
and all that other craziness that
Mm-hmm.
they was doing. It was
Mm-hmm.
normal for me. And so I got married, and I was a good husband. I wasn't a great husband, but I was a good husband.
Mm-hmm.
But I still had some issues, man. I had some
Mm-hmm.
issues that I had to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
thought that I was like leading the right life. I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm supposed to get married. I'm supposed to do this. I'm supposed to do
Right.
that.
Right.
But I didn't know that that wasn't right. I didn't know
Yeah.
that that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. And then when
Mm-hmm.
that little girl, when she was born, it all just kind of clicked. And it was like,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
this this is not what I want her to see. This is not what I want my
Right.
kids to see from me. This is
Right.
not the life
Right.
that I want them to live. This is what I want,
Right.
something different. I want to be
Right.
different. I want to do different. I don't want
Mm-hmm.
any of this toxicity that I grew up
Right.
with and that I've dealt with. Let me get some
Yeah.
help.
Yeah.
Like I got to get help because I don't want them to see this. Because it was bad,
Wow.
man. It was really turbulent. A lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
that I grew up with, and I
Mm-hmm.
just knew I always wanted different for myself. I knew this isn't what I want. And again, let me touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew because, again, like I said, I got adopted when I was 12 years old. But when you're
Mm-hmm.
from a certain age to a certain age, you kind of develop your own characteristics already. You're already
Yeah.
who you are.
Yeah.
So when I got adopted, man, I saw the most amazing people in my parents. Like my mother
Mm-hmm.
was a godsend. And, I have 4 kids. I have 2 adopted kids, 2 biological kids. And
Right.
I got that instinct of adopting and helping other people from my mother. My mother
Sure.
adopted 15
Sure.
kids. So
What? Wait.
yeah, man,
15 kids.
there's 15 of us.
Man.
They had 3 biological and the rest of us was adopted, man. So
Yeah. Hats
my
off.
parents were
Hats off.
amazing. And so
Yes.
I saw my
Yes.
father, I saw my adopted father, I saw the amazing
Right.
hero that he was and how he treated my
Right.
mother and how dope he was,
Right.
and how dope he is. And so I saw that, and that made me want to be a better person and a better man. That's the book I wrote. It's called
Wow.
So My Kids Don't Have to. So I went through all the shit that I went through
Oh,
so that my kids don't have to go through
wait a minute. How you gonna just drop that on us real quick and say, oh, that's my book? Eh,
it.
I
It was a
believe
book
it's
written.
important. Yes. Yes. I know you got a copy somewhere around there.
It was a book written specifically for my kids. It was like for
Okay.
them, for
Okay.
their. I
Okay.
mean, I'll end up publishing it one day, but it was specifically for them, so they could see how I
I
grew up.
love it. Listen, thank you for sharing that.
Oh
I'm in
yeah,
more of awe, man. Uh, oh wow. Oh yeah. Yes, you are opening up a new conversation, Miss Taylor. Listen, listen. I love that, and thank you for sharing that because it's going to help so many people, more people
yeah,
with that, and the fact that so because so many more people can relate to that. So you may have had it that way, and I grew up in a domestic violent household. So for
hmm,
many years, for almost 16 years, I saw my father beat my mother, or there was always that fear, and so I hear you because I did not want to be that way with my own children.
yeah,
And I knew that. So I probably err on giving them so much leniency because, man, Sharif, because there was a time I hated my father and I wanted
hmm,
nothing to do or be like him. But I knew that I had to learn how to, as my grandmother would say, chew the meat and spit out the bones. And
hmm.
because his DNA is in me, so I had to realize in hating him, I was subconsciously hating myself. Right.
Yeah. Speak
Yeah.
on it.
And so there were some great qualities that he had. So I get to now choose what qualities that I loved about him that I want to bring out, and then what qualities about him I did not like, that I did not want to, that I don't have to repeat, that I have the
Mhm.
power. Come on, the accountability. So I had to hold myself accountable in this transition. Come on, Sharif, you're talking to me,
Give me a
bro.
word, baby.
Really, and that's the struggle. And with that, and so yes, man, this is powerful, man. I agree with you. And so you have you're helping brothers out there, and continue to tell that story. And brother, as soon as you finally publish that book, you hear me, as soon as you publish that book in 2022, I want to be the first one to get the signed copy. You hear me?
I got you.
2022. Okay, I'm saying
I got
now I'm
you.
going to do, because what I what I hear in your story, I hear in your story, so now I understand even more your why.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh
I
yeah.
understand more your why, because now it's come real for me and real to our listeners. Listeners, listen, share this, invite people in the room. We have none other than Sharif Colbert, who's here. He's Creole. Who is a certified life coach. He just didn't wake up and say, "Oh, I'm a life coach. Let me go get some cards." Yes,
Nah.
it's important to support men's face values. Don't try to change them. Yeah, listen and understand the man and support him where needed. Thank you, Shayla. I appreciate that. That's not one of your children, we know. So,
No, it's not.
no, she out here on the West Coast, so it's all good. Let's talk about fatherhood. And
Okay.
again, I have an adoptive daughter as well. See, there's too much in common.
It's
Too
too
much in
much in common.
common.
The
Hmm.
stars were aligned, baby. We met for a reason, baby.
They were, and they still are. So my adopted daughter is 5. Do not judge me because I have too much gray hair to have a 5-year old. That's a whole nother
Man,
topic, and
your
that's a
old ass
whole
is running
nother
around.
right. Who's that? Your granddaddy? No, that's my daddy. But anyway, but she got love. She got love. That's all
She
that
got love.
matters.
That's all that
She got
matters.
love. She got love. Let's talk about even Sharif, talk to me about even some of your challenges, because I know that I struggled as a young single father. So I had a degree from UC Berkeley, no job, and it was about to be a new father. And I freaked out because I didn't know the first thing about being what I thought I didn't know the first thing about being an effective father. How was that for you when your daughter was born or being born, and you're about to be this dad, and you're like, I'm struggling with all the negativity and all the thoughts that you had in your mind, and
Mm,
the journey that you had to go on then?
man, goodness. You know, for me, the struggles have always been that I just want to make sure I'm a good dad. Like that's the number
Right.
one thing that
Right.
God put me here for, is to be a good
Yes.
father to my kids. And so when I
Yes.
find myself not living up to my own expectations, I'm very hard on
Mm.
myself. Like I'm
Okay.
very, 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 very hard on myself. And so I find myself needing to be a little bit more lenient on myself and give myself some grace, because I'm human and I'm going to make
Right.
mistakes. But
Right.
that's where I run into the problem, is that I'm very
Hmm.
hard. Man, like you say you overcompensate with something. I overcompensate with love. Like, man, I
Okay.
I am the
Right. I
dad
hear
that's
you.
gonna call. I call my kids all the time. I tell them I love them. I'm hugging on them.
Right.
I'm kissing on them.
Right.
I'm
Right.
praising them. Like I'm that dude. Like I'm taking my daughters on
Yes.
dates. Like, and I'm
Yes.
sure that they probably are like, "Hey, this Negro go again. Leave me alone,
Right. Right.
please."
But it's all good.
But I
Yes.
love them, man. I just love them to life, and I don't know.
Yes.
I just don't want. I overcompensate because I never want them to experience any of the traumas that I experienced as a child,
Mm.
and so I know that I overcompensate
Mm.
sometimes. But it's all love, though. I love my babies.
Yes, that's right. That I love all that you said, because too often I've heard fathers talk about they can't kiss their children, they can't love on them like that. They're too grown now. Listen, I got
Man,
a 23-year-old son, and I will jump on his back now. That now he tried to do it to
man,
me. He bigger than me. I'm like, dude, you too big now. Shoot, He's- you better get off me. But I love that,
man.
not being afraid to show your children, whether it's publicly, in the home, that you love them. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my
Man,
God.
my son is 31. My son is 31 years old, and I still give him a big old kiss. Like, give me a boy.
Right.
You better give me a
Right.
hug. You better give me a big old kiss. I'm gonna show him that affection. I'm gonna show him that love, and show him that
Yes.
it's okay. Because again, we didn't
That,
have. I can't speak for you, but I didn't have role models like that to show me that it was
right.
okay to be affectionate like that. It's like now
Right.
you got to be macho, macho, macho. No, you don't. It's okay. Like it's
Hmm.
okay to show
Hmm.
your feelings. It's okay to show that you love. It's okay to give
Hmm.
hugs. It's okay to do all of that. Like you can do that.
Yes.
It's okay.
I love this. Says, I love and kiss my grown. Thank you. Thank you. Another black father who
And
says
more
it.
black
Thank
brothers
you.
need to do that.
Yes.
We need to
Yeah,
do that more.
exactly. Exactly. We have to, because that's how we show, and knowing them. I go into the whole thing with love languages. My son's love language is physical touch. Now he hits me and I'm like, dude, you too big to be hitting me now. Now I want to cut you. Now you hit me one more time, I'm gonna cut you.
Damn, not cut them.
Yes. I'm gonna do like Della Reese and shoot him in his pinky toe. But but you're right. We have a responsibility, and almost, I think, I'm gonna say it this way, a calling to show our children love, and to break the misnomer that we as fathers, we as black fathers, don't know how to show love, that we as black
Yeah,
fathers don't know how to raise our children, that we as black fathers don't know how to be actively engaged with our children. Man, I love that. I really do, because I think that's one
we
of
got
the
to break that
major,
cycle.
we got to break the cycle. Yes, one of the challenges, I think that goes back to what you said earlier, pride.
Hmm.
Because I have so many of my patients who says, well, my daddy didn't do it to me, and I was like, okay, did it make it right? you know
Right.
look how you are. Just imagine if you just gave them a hug, or just acknowledge them, where that comes from. How do we, so let's go here. What are some things that we can encourage, maybe some black fathers, or some just fathers in general, of how to break the pride, and even how to break the stereotype of how to love our children? You brought it up, so I'm just rolling with you, bro.
Well, I'm actually going to be starting a program, and it's called All Girl, All Dad Crew. And what that is going to be teaching fathers how they can actually start having better relationships with their children, especially
Mm-hmm.
their daughters, because I believe that our daughters, I mean, our sons need us too, don't get me wrong, but I believe that our
Yes.
daughters, man, they need that role model, that black role model that they can have and that they can love and they
Yes.
can just share that with. And so for me, it starts with communication. Open
Okay.
communication with your kids and just
Okay.
talking to them, like
Okay.
listening to them and finding out what's going on with them and how their life is going and what's really going
Right.
on with them, and like
Right.
really and truly listening. And that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that like I'm good at, but I'm still working on. It's just
Sure.
listening, just sitting there and just
Yeah.
shutting my mouth and just saying, okay, go ahead, talk to me.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And so I think that
Yeah.
that's the biggest tool that we can do is we can start communicating. They can
I
start
love
communicating
that.
with them.
I love
Dates.
all. Yes, yes. I
Dates
love
with
the
your
all
daughter. Dates
girl,
with your
all
kids.
dad crew.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
Okay.
another thing that you're gonna see on lifecoachatl.com. But we getting there. I'm letting too many cats out the
Listen,
bag, baby.
I'm coming down to ATL. Bring my 5-year-old. We gonna come to the all girl, all dad crew meeting. We coming up in there. We here from Cali. We representing. No, man,
Yes.
Sharif, that is so good. I love that. Dates, daddy daughter dates, daddy son dates, because we
Yeah.
can take our sons out as well. Why is that so important? Why is that so important that we spend quality time like that with our children?
Because they need to know that you love them. And they need
Mm-hmm.
to know that you're there. And they need to know that no
Right.
matter what, this man right here, he loves me no matter what. And they need
Mm-hmm.
to know that. They need to experience that, man. They really, really
Yeah.
need to experience that. And they need to feel that. They need to feel that love.
Right.
And I love the daddy son date. Like, you go on a date with your son, you take your son somewhere and it's just you and him. Like, my thing is that when
Yes.
I'm out there with my daughters,
Mm-hmm.
it's us. We ain't got no phones
Yes.
on. Like, we
Yeah.
are we are in tune with each other. And I know that sometimes I know they be getting mad at me, but I'm like, no, we're gonna talk.
Mm-mm.
And we're gonna have a
Right.
conversation. We're gonna have this dinner. We're
Right.
gonna enjoy each other's company because you only
Right.
get one. You only get one daddy. That's it.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
When I leave this earth, damn it, y'all better. Hey, look, if my kids ever make a rap song like he wasn't there, damn it, I'm coming through. It's gonna be a problem.
Look, I'm coming back. I'm gonna haunt you.
I'm coming back because I'm there, damn
Right, right. Like, listen, let me tell you something. No, I love that because when we're doing this and not being afraid to say, hey, during this time, this is we are and we are willing to make time with our children. Yes, yeah, I love that. Thank you, thank you. So we got to make time for our kids, you
it. Yeah.
know. And I love what you're
Show them that
saying.
they're important.
That's right. The things that you value, you will find time for. Yes, yes,
Hmm.
yes, yes. Hello, Auntie. That's my number one on the family side support. You got to call on your
Oh,
family, baby. But you're
absolutely.
absolutely right. Absolutely right. Showing and having that time, that quality time, that time that you care. And I love that. During this time, there will be no phones. During this time, there'll be no social media. During this time, there's no PS5. There's no or
Yeah,
anything. It's the one-on-one. I'm going to look at you. You're going to look at me. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to just talk
yeah,
about life. We don't have to talk about anything serious. But if something serious does, we need to talk about that. I'm going to be there for you and support you. Do you
yeah.
know?
And showing them. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No. Go ahead and showing them.
No, just showing them that you really are listening and that you really are
Mm-hmm.
present and that you really do want to, that you want to spend time with them. I think that that's so
Yes.
important, man, that a lot of kids, they don't get that.
Yes.
Like,
You're
they're
right.
so, parents are so caught up in the hustle and bustle of every single day that they lose
Mm-hmm.
focus of that. And my main, like I told you before, my main focus, my main purpose of being on this earth, man, is to make sure that my
Mm-hmm.
kids are all right, to make sure that they are amazing human
Wow.
beings. And how am I going to do that if I'm not present? Like, how am I going to be a
Ooh.
life coach? How are you going to be a life
Ooh.
coach and you don't spend time with your own kids? Like, how you, like,
Mm-hmm.
no, that doesn't add up. So I make sure I practice what I preach. Like, no matter what,
Mm.
these babies, they're going to get this love no matter what. Like, they're going to get
Yes.
it.
Yes. That's right. That's right. I love that. You said the power of presence, the power of being present. You know, I was at my daughter when she was being promoted into kindergarten. It was each class, they had a Candyland theme. So each class came up on stage, man, and they were saying something. And so the first class, there were about 3 kids that were like, oh, Daddy, you're here. Oh my God. And then the little girl just did a little extra and everything. So we all were laughing and everything. Yeah, she was like, yeah. And they was just like, Daddy, look. And then when the next class came up, 3 or 4 other kids were like, Daddy, you're here, you're here. But when the third and fourth time class came up and you had the same responses, Sharif, I'm not going to lie, my heart started to break.
Yeah,
It did because it
yeah,
says we as fathers don't realize the power of our presence. Hmm.
yeah.
And you said it,
Say
being
it.
present. So the power of our presence, and I think especially Black fathers, we feel that, oh, they're young, or they'll be all right. But just showing up. You don't have to, whether you're in the house or not in the house, just showing up will change the trajectory of our children's lives, because they know that daddy is there to support them. Because when I need daddy, he's going to show up. When I need
Hmm.
daddy, he's going to be there. The
Hmm.
power of presence. What do you say to that too? Because that's what I'm hearing from you. The power of presence says, yes, we have to show up. You're absolutely right. We have to show up, because if we don't
We have
show up,
to.
the dope man will show up. If we don't show
Thank
up,
you.
the pimp will show up. If we don't
That
show up,
poll.
the sex trap, yeah, that pole will show up. If we don't show up, that sex trafficker will show up. If we don't
Yeah.
show up, that other ninja that'll get them pregnant will show up, or our kid might
Hello.
be the ninja to get them pregnant. I said
Exactly.
ninja. I was being nice. Yes, God.
No, you're
but
absolutely right, Marty. That is
mm-hmm,
that is
mm-hmm.
absolutely correct, man. Is that, if we don't show up, somebody else will, and that's been a
Yes.
fear of mine. Like, yo, if I'm not gonna be there, then somebody else
Mm,
gonna be there. And even when I got divorced from my ex-wife, and then when we got divorced, it was like, no, I'm gonna be. And she never
right.
tried to say that don't be there, but I was like, no, I'm going to be there for my kids.
Yes.
Like, I'm
Yes.
going to be a present father no
Yes.
matter what. Like, I'm going to be there. And I've always
Yes.
been there for my kids. I mean, I'm showing up at recitals. I'm showing up at basketball
That's
games.
right.
I'm showing up
Right.
at soccer. Like, I'm showing up at everything. I'm there.
Right.
I'm going to be that
Right.
daddy. So I think that it's very, very important. I think that sometimes they may not realize how important it is at the time. But I believe when they get
Hmm.
older, though, then that's when they're like, damn,
Yes.
okay, he was there. Like, you can't take that.
You're right. And I think that's the part that's where we as fathers get discouraged. And that's where, again, accountability, transition. Come on,
Hmm.
accountability coach. I love it. We're
Hmm.
holding our fathers accountable to each other. Be like, bro, where were you at? You know,
Yeah.
bro, there's been 10 games and you've been to one. Come on now,
Yeah.
bro. We done had 5 recitals. Where you been?
Yeah.
That they need, our kids need to see us. They need to see
They need
that,
to see us.
that we're actively involved in their lives, and that we're communicating in their lives. It
Yeah.
makes
The
all the
communication is
world of
key.
difference. It is. It
The
is.
communication is key, man. You got to talk to your kids, and you got to be willing to listen to them, and you have to be able to be open to whatever they say to you.
Mm,
I've always taught
mm,
my kids, you can say whatever it is that you want to say to me as long as you're respectful.
mm.
Anything. You can say whatever you want to say to me as long as you're respectful. Like, just be
Okay.
respectful. You could tell me that you don't like this or you don't like that. I'm open to it because I'm not perfect. Man, my kids teach
Hmm.
me so much every day. Like, every day they
Oh my
teach
God.
me something.
Yes.
Every day, because I'm
Yes.
open to it and I'm listening to them. I'm like, damn, okay, I didn't understand. I didn't realize that you didn't like that. So now I know because
Right.
you communicated with me, and I
Right.
noticed it because they communicate with me.
Hmm.
Sometimes my
Hmm.
youngest two daughters, they communicate a lot. Like, I'll be like, okay, look, can you give brother a break, please? Like, shit,
You're like, okay, I got this. They communicate a
I
lot.
got it.
Well, damn. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We're good. I understand. I understand. We there. We there. Baby, we there. We there. I get it.
We're
But
there. I get it.
but but even with that, we know. And what about your son? Does your son, how's his communication? Well, I'm sure it's brilliant because look at his dad. But uh, was there ever a time that you had to struggle and get them to communicate, or even you still persistent about communication? Because our kids get into that teenage era and they kind of lose their minds, and we got to kind of help reel them back in.
You
Right,
get
right.
your ass back
Thank
here
you.
first.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So how do we keep persisting? I love this because we turned now to helping these dads, since this is
Mhm,
men's month, with that. So how do we help dads who feel, well, they ain't talking to me, I'm not going to talk to them? Well, I tried.
mhm.
How do we help a father like that?
First of all, you're the father, and you had
Mm.
them. They didn't have you, so you got
Ooh,
to remember that
ooh,
you're the dad.
ooh,
You're not the child. And then
ooh.
second of all, it is consistency, Marty. It's consistency, man. I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, I have a teenager right now
Yes.
that is consistent. I mean, it is sometimes
Yes.
it's difficult, but you
Right.
got to be consistent with it. You got to consistently show them that you love them, and you got to keep showing
Yes.
up. And then you
Yeah.
also got to
Oh,
remember, I was 16 once, I was 17 once, and I
come
was
on.
ass. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I'm not perfect, so you got
Right.
to make sure that you allow grace with
Yeah.
people. You got to
Oh,
allow grace with your kids, and once you allow grace with your kids, then things will be
yes.
much better. And but you got
I
to be
love
consistent
that.
though.
Yeah.
Consistency,
Consistency and grace. That's good.
yes, yeah,
Consistency
consistency and
and
grace
grace. Mm-hmm.
and
Man, you
communication. You
helping
can't
me.
forget
And
the communication.
communication. Yes.
Yes,
So
you got to talk to them.
consistently communicate with grace. Come on.
Woo! I
Come
like
on.
that.
You like that? I'll let you have that one
You did
for
that.
the all girls,
You
all
did that
dads. Consistently communicate with grace. Come on.
with grace.
We're gonna get that on a Daryl, write that down. We're gonna get that on a t-shirt. Man, Sharif, loving your story. And I can't say it enough. We have to hear your story because you bring hope to Black men. You bring hope that says, I don't care where you came from or even what you've been through. You have the power to overcome your circumstances, and you have the power to change not only the trajectory, but change your life, and that your
Yes,
past does not dictate your future. Come on, I'm talking
yes,
good now, Sharif.
yes, 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 yes.
Yes. Man. Listen, I gotta have you back. I gotta have you back. I gotta have you back because
I'm
there's so
there,
much,
baby.
man. We just scratched the surface. We just have scratched the surface of what we need to do. Man, listen, I feel like we've been brothers forever already. Yes.
Hey, man,
Love
I'll
your
be back, Marty, as long as you make sure that Daryl gets me the information. Okay.
Listen, yes. Portia Scott says, listen, consistently communicate with grace. You're not going to throw me in under the bus with Daryl. Daryl, you lucky I can't see you with this new system we got. But anyway, Sharif, how can our listeners follow you and get now he pops up. Okay. How can our followers find you in your social media handles and follow you? Because this is too great because I want to promote all that you're doing as well.
Well, I appreciate that, Marty. You can get at me at on Instagram. I am lifecoachatl.com. I'm sorry, lifecoachatl. On Facebook, I'm lifecoachatl / your champ is here. And I have my own website. Please go to the website if any of this resonated with
Yes.
you and schedule a free consultation with me. It's lifecoachatl.com. Again, lifecoachatl on Instagram, lifecoachatl / your champ is here on Facebook, and my website is lifecoachatl.com. So please, if any of this resonated with you, if you feel that you can get
Yes.
some help, please go there, book a free session with me. Let's have a conversation and let's go from there.
Love it, man. Oh my God. That's so powerful. You heard it right here. Listen, if you are in the Atlanta area, y'all go check out my bro. He is doing some dynamic things. Now, are you doing Zoom sessions for those who may not live in Georgia and all that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm
See,
all over the world, baby. I'm
okay, come
everywhere.
on.
I'm not
Worldwide.
limited. Don't limit me, baby.
That's right. Limitless. That's right. That's right. So listen, all of you got some uncles, some brothers, some nephews, your dad, your granddad, somebody that needs this amazing life coach, Mr. Sharif Colbert.
Thank you.
Yes, man. Thank you for being on here. And you heard it here. We love what you're doing. Consistently communicate with grace. There are so
Yes.
many podcasts and shows you all could have done and listened to, but we're so glad that you chose to listen and come to Mental Health Matters with Marty. We have been talking about June is Men's Health Awareness Month. And we want to challenge you, not just in your physical health, but in your mental health as well. Sharif has definitely shared with us some amazing nuggets for fathers to talk about, to think on. The daddy daughter dates, the father son dates, just showing up. But listen, we want you to follow us on my website. If you have any questions about, please check out our website at mentalhealthmarty.com and check out all of our paraphernalia and all of our merchandise to support you along your mental health journey. And also, please check out our website and our I'm all discombobulated trying to be professional, y'all. Check out the podcast, Mental Health Matters with Marty. I'm dropping a new podcast on tomorrow. If you are an Apple listener, please give us a 5-star rating and also leave us a review. And become an iMatter member with Mental Health Matters with Marty by texting iMatter to 855-717-1272. Again, that's 855-717-1272. We have some great things coming up that we are so excited about that we want you to join us with this. As I always say each week I share this. We don't have to continue to suffer in silence in the shadow of shame. But it's time to stop the stinking thinking that has been plaguing us too long. I want to help break the negative stereotype and stigma as it pertains to mental health and wellness, not only in our Black community, but in communities of color, especially among men. But join us next week for another episode of Mental Health Matters with Marty. And tomorrow I'm also launching a new show called The Believe. Mental Health Matters with Marty presents The Believe Center. Check us out at 7 p.m., same time, same bat channel on Wednesday. And we'll be glad to help you and learn about, as Sharif talked about, foster care and adoption. But again, we don't. And that's 10 p.m. Thank you, Daryl. 10 p.m. Eastern time. I know that's late, but we'd love to have you. So that's 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. But as I share and say each week, we don't want you to suffer in silence, but we want you to speak up, speak out, and live. And as I always say, and remember to enjoy your life. See you next time.